Well, I went down to London town. Didn't plan to tarry, but there I met a pretty little girl, and her name was Devilish Mary.
Ring-tum, ting-tum, Terry. Her eyes were blue and her hair was brown. They called her Devilish Mary.
Well, me and Mary began to spark, and she got in a hurry and made up my mind right at the start she'd marry me next Thursday.
Ring-tum, ting-tum, Terry. Her eyes were blue and her hair was brown. They called her Devilish Mary.
We hadn't been married but about 2 weeks. She got as mean as the devil, and every time I looked cross-eyed, she hit me on the head with a shovel.
Ring-tum, ting-tum, Terry. Her eyes were blue and her hair was brown. They called her Devilish Mary.
Bill, it was awful. You know what that girl did?
What that girl did?
She washed my clothes. Wow! In old soap suds.
Yes, sir.
Brushed my back with switches. She jumped, she kicked, she popped the heels, and swore she'd wear my breeches.
Ring-tum, ting-tum, Terry. Her eyes was blue and her hair was brown. They called her Devilish Mary.
That sort of thing couldn't go on.
I sincerely hope not.
Yeah, we ended it. Hadn't been married but about 6 months. Thought we'd better be parted, and she packed up her little duds, and down the road she started.
Ring-tum, ting-tum, Terry. Her eyes were blue and her hair was brown. They called her Devilish Mary.
Softly now, here's the moral.
As in the morning sunrise.
If ever I marry, the second time, it will not be for riches. Be a little girl about 4 feet tall, so she can't wear my breeches.
Ring-tum, ting-tum, Terry. Her eyes were blue and her hair was brown. They called her Devilish Mary.
To a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea. 'Twas on the broad Atlantic in an equinoctial gale that a brave young man fell overboard among the shark and whale. And he sank right down so quickly down sank he, that he shot out of sight like a bolt of light to the bottom of the deep blue sea, singing,
Rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be
married to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea. Then they got the boats out quickly, and they thought to find his corpse, when he rose to the top with his hat in his hand and a hoarse sepulchral voice. Oh, my comrades and my messmates all, now don't you weep for me, for I'm married to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea, singing,
Rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be
married to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea. In my chest you'll find my 12 months' pay wrapped round with a lock of hair. You may take it and carry it to my dear wife with care. Send a card to my grandmother saying, don't you weep for me, for I'm married to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea, singing,
Rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be.
I'm a young married man who is tired of life. 10 years I've been wed to a sickly wife. She does nothing all day but sit down and sigh. Oh, wishing to goodness she'd get well or die.
Oh, doctor, dear John, your cod liver oil is so pure and so strong. I'm afraid of me life I'll go down in the sun.
Now a friend of me own came to see me one day, and he said that me wife, she was pining away. He afterwards told me that she would grow strong if I got her a bottle from Dr. Dear John.
Oh, Doctor, dear Doctor, oh, Doctor, dear John, your cod liver oil is so pure and so strong. I'm afraid of me life, I'll go down in the sun if your wife don't stop drinking your cod liver oil.
Well, I got her a bottle, it was just for to try, and the way that she drank it, you'd swear she was dry. I got her another, and it vanished the same, till I think she's got cod liver oil on the brain.
Oh, Doctor, dear Doctor, oh, Doctor, dear John, your cod liver oil is so pure and so strong. I'm afraid of me life, I'll go down in the sun if your wife don't stop drinking your cod liver oil.
Now me house, it resembles a big doctor's shop, with bottles and bottles from bottom to top. And when in the morning the kettle does boil, you'd swear it was singing out cod liver oil.
Oh, Doctor, dear Doctor, oh, Doctor, dear John, your cod liver oil is so pure and so strong. I'm afraid of me life, I'll go down in the sun if the wife don't stop drinking your cod liver oil.
In Brooklyn City there lived a girl, and she was known to fame. Her mother's name was Mary Ann, and hers was Mary Jane. And every Saturday morning she used to cross over the river and go to the market where she sold eggs and sausages, likewise liver. For he was me darling boy, for he was the lad with the auburn hair, and they called him Michael Roy. She fell in love with a donkey man, McCluskey was his name. His fighting weight was 7 stone 6, and he loved sweet Mary Jane. He took her out in his donkey cart one fine St. Patrick's Day, but the donkey took fright at a Jersey man and started and ran away. For he was me darling boy, for he was the lad with the auburn hair, and they called him Michael Roy. McCluskey shouted and hollered in vain, but the donkey wouldn't stop. He threw Mary Jane right over his head, right into a policy shop. McCluskey stared at the horrible sight, and his heart was filled with pity. He stabbed the donkey with a piece of charcoal and headed for Salt Lake City. For he was me darling boy, for he was the lad with the auburn hair, and they called him Michael Roy. For he was me darling boy, for he was the lad with the auburn hair, and they called him Michael Roy.
Well, Ezekiel saw the wheel
A-rolling way up in the middle of the air.
Ezekiel saw the wheel
A-rolling way in the middle of the air. And the little wheel run by faith, and the big wheel run by the grace of God. A wheel within a wheel, a-rolling way in the middle of the air. Wheel, 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 way in the middle of the air. Wheel, 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 way in the middle of the air.
Some go to church for to sing and shout,
Way in the middle of the air.
but before 6 months they're all turned out.
Way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel rolling way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel rolling way in the middle of the air. And the little wheel run by faith, and the big wheel run by the grace of God. A wheel within a wheel rolling way in the middle of the air. Wheel, 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 way in the middle of the air. Wheel, 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 way in the middle of the air.
Well, now one of these days about 12 o'clock,
Way in the middle of the air.
and this whole world's going to reel and rock.
Way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel
'Twas 25 or 30 years since Jack first saw the light. He came into this world of woe one dark and stormy night. He was born on board of his father's ship as she was a-laying to, about 25 or 30 miles southeast of Baccaloo. Oh, Jack was every inch a sailor, 25 years a whaler. Jack was every inch a sailor. He was born upon the bright blue sea. When Jack grew up to be a man, he went to the Labrador and fished in Indian Harbor where his father fished before. On his returning in the fog, he met a heavy gale, and Jack was swept into the sea and swallowed by a whale. Oh, Jack was every inch a sailor, 25 years a whaler. Jack was every inch a sailor. He was born upon the bright blue sea. The whale went straight for Baffin's Bay, about 90 knots an hour, and every time he'd blow a spray, he'd send it in a shower. Ah, me, says Jack unto himself, I'll see what he's about. He grabbed that whale all by the tail and turned him inside out. Oh, Jack was every inch a sailor, 25 years a whaler. Jack was every inch a sailor. He was born upon the bright blue sea. He was born upon the bright blue sea. Once was a hole in the ground. The green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now in that hole, there was some roots, prettiest little roots, that you ever did see. Now the roots in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now in them roots, there was a tree, prettiest little tree, that you ever did see. Now the tree and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now in that tree, there was a nest, prettiest little nest, that you ever did see. The nest in the tree, and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now in that nest, there was a egg, the prettiest little egg, that you ever did see. The egg in the nest, in the tree, and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now in that egg, there was a bird, prettiest little bird, that you ever did see. The bird and the egg, and the nest, in the tree, and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now on that bird, there was a feather, prettiest little feather, that you ever did see. The feather and the bird, and the egg, and the nest, in the tree, and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now on that feather, there was a little bug, pretty little bug, you ever did see. The bug and the feather, and the bird, and the egg, and the nest, in the tree, and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now on that bug, there was an eye, the prettiest little eye, that you ever did see. The eye and the bug, and the feather, and the bird, and the egg, and the nest, in the tree, and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Now on that eye, was an eyelash, prettiest little eyelash, that you ever did see. Eyelash on the eye, and the bug, and the feather, and the bird, and the egg, and the nest, in the tree, and the roots, in the hole, in the ground, the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around.
If I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's
Mary wore 3 links of chain, and every link wore freedom's name.
Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Well, Moses stood on the Red Sea shore, smite the water with a 2x4.
Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
God gave Noah the rainbow sign, no more water, just a fire next time.
Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
And the Lord told Moses what to do, lead those Hebrew children through.
Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got grounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Shipmates, listen to me, and I'll tell you in my song of a thing that happened to me when I came home from Hong Kong. And the way you sang it, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? As I walked down through Chatham Street, a fair maid I did meet. She asked me for to see her home, she lived in Bleecker Street. And the way you sang it, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? Now if you'll only come with me, you shall have a treat. You'll have a glass of brandy, dear, and something nice to eat. And the way you sang it, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? When we got up to Bleecker Street, we stopped at 44. Her mother and her sisters there to meet us at the door. And the way you sang it, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? Now just before we sat to eat, we had another drink. The liquor was so awful strong, I quickly fell asleep. And the way you sang it, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? When I awoke next morning, nothing could I see but a woman's shoes and apron, which were no use to me. And the way you sang it, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? So in these shoes and apron, I wandered all forlorn, till Martin Churchill took me in and sent me round Cape Horn. And the way you sang it, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka? Oh, you New York girls, can't you dance a polka?
In the sky the bright stars glittered, on the bank the pale moon shone, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
I was seeing Nellie home. I was seeing Nellie home. And 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
On my arm a soft hand rested light as ocean foam, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
I was seeing Nellie home, I was seeing Nellie home. And 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
On my lips a whisper trembled, trembled till it dared to come. And 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
I was seeing Nellie home, I was seeing Nellie home. And 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
On my life new hopes were dawning, and those hopes have lived and grown. And it was from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
I was seeing Nellie home, I was seeing Nellie home. It was from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home.
I's the boy that builds the boat, and I's the boy that sails her. I's the boy that catches the fish and takes them home to Lizer.
If your partner's Sally Jabot, if your partner's Sally Brown, Hogan, Finnegan, Martin's Harbour, all around the circle.
Sods and brines to cover your plate, cake and tea for supper, codfish in the spring of the year, fried in maggoty butter.
If your partner's Sally Jabot, if your partner's Sally Brown, Hogan, Finnegan, Martin's Harbour, all around the circle.
I don't want your maggoty fish, that's no good for winter. I could buy as good as that down in Bonavista.
If your partner's Sally Jabot, if your partner's Sally Brown, Hogan, Finnegan, Martin's Harbour, all around the circle.
Well, I took Liza to a dance at Faith, and she could travel, and every step that she did take was up to her knees in gravel.
If your partner's Sally Jabot, if your partner's Sally Brown, Hogan, Finnegan, Martin's Harbour, all around the circle.
Susan White, she's out of sight, her petticoat wants a border. Old Sam Oliver in the dark, he kissed her in the corner.
If your partner's Sally Jabot, if your partner's Sally Brown, Hogan, Finnegan, Martin's Harbour, all around the circle. If your partner's Sally Jabot, if your partner's Sally Brown, Hogan, Finnegan, Martin's Harbour, all around the circle.
Tina single lelo vota